Dealing with angry people. Calmness, empathy, common ground, effective techniques. Let's talk about dealing with angry people. Dealing with angry people can be a challenging and uncomfortable experience. However, it is an essential skill to have as it can help prevent conflicts and improve communication. In this article, we will discuss some effective ways to deal with angry people, how to avoid fighting them, how to de-escalate the situation, and how to rationalize that it's all about them and not you. The first step in dealing with angry people is to remain calm and composed. It is essential to control your emotions and not get drawn into the other person's anger. Remember that anger is a natural emotion. People can get angry for various reasons. Therefore, it is crucial to try and understand the cause of their anger and respond in a manner that can help alleviate their concerns. The second step is to listen actively to the angry person. It is essential to give them your undivided attention and acknowledge their feelings. Try to empathize with their situation and show that you understand their perspective. Listening to them can help them feel heard, understood, and validated, which can help reduce their anger. The third step is to avoid being defensive. It is natural to feel defensive when someone is angry, but this can escalate the situation. It is essential to avoid blaming them, making excuses, or justifying your actions. Instead, focus on finding a solution to address their concerns and needs. The fourth step is to find common ground. Try to identify areas of agreement and focus on those instead of the points of disagreement. Finding common ground can help establish a rapport and create a positive environment for communication. The fifth step is to de-escalate the situation. If the person continues to be angry, trying to calm them down is essential. You can do this by using a soothing tone of voice, taking deep breaths, and using non-confrontational language. Additionally, you can try to offer a solution or a compromise that can address their concerns and help resolve the situation. The sixth step is to rationalize that it's all about them and not you. It is essential to understand that the other person's anger is not necessarily a reflection of your actions. It could be due to their personal issues, frustrations, or other factors that are beyond your control. Therefore, it is essential to not take their anger personally and avoid internalizing it. Dealing with angry people can be a challenging task, but it is an essential skill to have. By remaining calm, actively listening, avoiding defensiveness, finding common ground, de-escalating the situation, and rationalizing that it's all about them and not you, you can effectively deal with angry people and prevent conflicts. Remember that empathy, patience, and understanding are key to resolving conflicts and building positive relationships. What if they refuse to de-escalate and calm down? Note: the following is provided for general information only and should not be considered legal advice. The use of force and self-defense laws may vary depending on the jurisdiction and specific circumstances, so it is always advisable to seek professional legal advice before taking any action. If the angry person refuses to de-escalate and calm down, it can be challenging to resolve the situation peacefully. In such cases, it is essential to prioritize your safety and the safety of others. Here are some steps you can take if the angry person refuses to calm down. Establish boundaries. If the person is behaving aggressively or threateningly, it is essential to establish clear boundaries. Communicate firmly and assertively that you will not tolerate any abusive or violent behavior. Remove yourself from the situation. If the situation becomes too intense, removing yourself from the environment may be necessary. If possible, leave the room, the building, or the area, and seek help from a trusted authority figure or law enforcement. Stay calm and composed. Even if the other person is angry and agitated, it is crucial to remain calm and composed. Avoid reacting with anger, shouting, or physical aggression, as this can escalate the situation. Seek professional help. If the person's anger is persistent and unmanageable, it may be necessary to seek professional help. You can encourage them to seek counseling or anger management therapy to address their issues and improve their coping skills. Report the incident. If the person's behavior is threatening or violent, it is essential to report the incident to the appropriate authorities. This can include the police, security personnel, or other relevant agencies. Remember, if the person refuses to de-escalate and calm down, it is essential to prioritize your safety and seek help from authorities or professionals. Remember to stay calm, assert your boundaries, and avoid reacting with aggression. With the right approach and support, Resolving conflicts and preventing escalation is possible. What if they physically attack you and you have to handle the situation? If the angry person physically attacks you and you cannot verbally de-escalate the situation, you may need to handle the situation to protect yourself and others. Here are some steps you can take. Protect yourself. Your safety is paramount, and you must protect yourself from harm. Try to create distance between you and the attacker. Use objects as barriers or weapons and block their strikes. Use self-survival techniques. If you have training in self-survival, use these techniques to subdue the attacker and protect yourself. This could include strikes, grappling, or submission techniques. Call for help. If possible, call for help from others nearby, such as security personnel or law enforcement. This can help to quickly resolve the situation and prevent further harm. File a police report. After the incident, it is essential to file a police report and provide details of the attack. This can help document the incident and ensure the attacker is held accountable for their actions. Seek medical attention. If you or anyone else involved in the incident is injured, seek medical attention immediately. Even minor injuries can have long-term consequences, and it is important to get prompt medical attention to ensure proper treatment. Remember, if you are physically attacked by an angry person, it is essential to prioritize your safety and protect yourself from harm. Use self-survival techniques if possible. Call for help, file a police report, and seek medical attention if necessary. Remember to remain calm and composed, and avoid using excessive force if possible. How can you avoid legalities? If you need to handle an angry person physically, it is important to ensure that you act within the limits of the law to avoid any legalities. Here are some steps you can take to avoid any legal issues. Use reasonable force. When defending yourself or others, using only the force necessary to protect yourself is important. The law allows you to use reasonable force to defend yourself, but you should avoid using excessive force that could cause serious harm. Document the incident. If you need to use physical force to defend yourself or others, it is important to document the incident as soon as possible. This can include writing down the details of the incident, taking photographs or videos of any injuries or damage, and collecting witness statements. Contact the authorities. If you have to use physical force to defend yourself, it is important to contact the authorities as soon as possible. This can include calling the police or security personnel and reporting the incident to them. Cooperate with the authorities. When the authorities arrive, it is crucial to cooperate with them and provide them with accurate information about the incident. This can help ensure that you are not mistaken as the aggressor and can help avoid legal issues. Seek legal advice. If you are concerned about any legal implications of the incident, it is important to seek legal advice from a qualified attorney. They can guide you on how to proceed and help you navigate any legal issues that may arise. Remember, to avoid any legalities when handling an angry person physically, it is important to use reasonable force. Document the incident, contact the authorities, cooperate with them, and seek legal advice if necessary. Remember to act within the limits of the law and use physical force only when necessary to protect yourself or others. When might it be appropriate to use lethal force? The use of lethal force should be a last resort, and is only appropriate in situations where it is necessary to protect oneself or others from an imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm. It is important to note that the use of lethal force can have serious legal and moral implications and should only be considered in the most extreme circumstances. Here are some situations where the use of lethal force may be considered appropriate. Self-survival against a deadly weapon. If an attacker is armed with a deadly weapon such as a gun, knife, or bat, and they are using it to threaten you or someone else with the imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm, it may be appropriate to use lethal force to protect yourself or others. Defense of others. If you witness someone else being threatened with imminent harm, it may be appropriate to use lethal force to protect them, if other options are not available. Defense of property. In some jurisdictions, the use of lethal force is allowed to protect one's home or property from an intruder or burglar who poses an imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm. Law enforcement. Law enforcement officers are authorized to use lethal force in situations where it is necessary to protect themselves or others from an imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm. It is important to note that the use of lethal force must always be proportionate to the threat posed, and that other non-lethal options should be exhausted before considering the use of lethal force. In addition, the legality and circumstances surrounding the use of lethal force may vary depending on the jurisdiction and the specific circumstances of the incident. In summary, the use of lethal force should only be considered in the most extreme circumstances, where there is an imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm, and all other non-lethal options have been exhausted. It is important to act within the law's limits and consider the potential legal and moral implications of using lethal force. In closing, dealing with angry people can be a challenging experience, but it is an essential skill to have to prevent conflicts and improve communication. To effectively deal with angry people, one should remain calm and composed, actively listen, avoid defensiveness, find common ground, de-escalate the situation, and understand that it's not about them but the angry person. In situations where the angry person refuses to de-escalate, it is crucial to prioritize safety and seek professional help, report the incident, or remove oneself from the situation. However, if the angry person physically attacks, one should prioritize their safety by protecting themselves, using self-survival techniques, calling for help, and filing a police report. Remember that empathy, patience, and understanding are key to resolving conflicts and building positive relationships. Sources for review. Note, again, these sources are provided for general information only and should not be considered legal advice. The use of force in self-defense laws may vary depending on the jurisdiction and specific circumstances, so it is always advisable to seek professional legal advice before taking any action. Use of force by law enforcement officials at www.ohr.org. Self-defense overview at www.justia.com. Legal limits on self-defense legal encyclopedia at www.nolo.com. Lethal force in defense of property found at www.law.cornell.edu.